Hey, how you doing? I'm Lee with Corghi USA, and we're going to show you the diagnostic features on the EM9780 and the EM9780C balancers. We've already been through the general operational characteristics, so we're going to get into some of the more delicate features that we have on this machine that can help you identify problems and save you downtime and lost production and repeat comeback business. We have our basic radial runout here. If I touch this, I'm going to get a radial runout sonar of the tire, and I'm going to get a laser runout of the rim. If I go to this feature here, I'm going to get a sonar radial runout of the tire and a radial runout of the rim, but I'm also going to get lateral runout of the rim. So we're going to start with this feature here. Remember, anytime you go to balance a tire on one of these touchscreens, you must make the dimension key red on the first wheel and tire to acquire the dimensions. As you can see now, the laser is running the lateral runout. Now it's running the radial runout. While your sonar device back here is shooting the beam to the tire. And I'm sorry, make sure this is pulled out to the center of the tire when doing diagnostics. Once our spin is complete, you can see there's no runout detected, so we can just continue on with the balancing of our tire. If this was yellow, it's saying that you can make improvements. If it's red, you should make improvements. So I tap on this and it gives us a picture of our wheel and tire assembly and the total runout. Not much there. Over here on this side is peak to peak. Now this is used in our manufacturing environments that use this same technology, this same balancing in manufacturing environments. For you, independents and out on the streets and even the high techies, you do not need to pay attention to the right side. Peak to peak is when you take all the hills and valleys all around and you scoop them up into one position, and if it exceeds a certain number, then the engineer's got to go back to the drawing board and put a different wheel with a different tire or change the compound settings and what have you. So don't pay attention to this. Let's just look at this. It's green, so we're good. But if it was red, we wouldn't know if it was the wheel or the tire. So we would need to go to our next screen. The next screen shows the lateral runout of the rim, and you can see it's fine. It's completely straight. If you notice in here, we have two green lines, and if the lines that we read are inside those green, they're okay, they're good. If it goes outside to the red, then it's obviously bad. So we go to the next screen, and now we have a picture of the radial runout of the rim only, and these are live measurements. So you can take a look and see what's going on at any time at 12 o'clock. I go to the next position, and here's my tire. So I know now if my wheel's out around or if my tire's out around, but again, all the numbers are green, so we have a good setting here. If there was a problem up here and we saw lines that were going, if there was a problem at this position here, I could rotate the wheel and I can take a look, and if it was dipping down, I would say, oh, looky there, there's a flat spot on there. Or if it peaked up, then I would know that there's a high spot or a separated belt or some other indication that we haven't noticed yet. So that's how we do that. Now, if this was red and it indicated one of those problems, down here you would have matching. And if it said matching 50%, then you could cut your weight in half by about 50%. So you may want to match mount this. But if it says anything less than 50%, you're going to knock off a quarter, half ounce. It's usually not worth taking it, breaking it down, taking it over to the tire changer, breaking it down, spinning it, and putting it back on here. If it's over 50% and you have weights such as 4 ounces and 6 ounces, and it can reduce it 75%, well, that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and do this match mount procedure, and we will break that wheel and tire down, so when we come back, we'll be more like a quarter ounce and a half ounce, which is kind of standard for out of roundness on everyday wheel and tires. So The other feature that's on here is also the intelligent positioning. We can turn wheel 1 and we can record the information on here. When you get done spinning it, this light will turn green. You would simply, in order to do this, and what this feature is for, is hanging the 4 wheels into the best positions on the automobile. So once we have wheel 1 done, we would balance it down to 0. We would go to wheel 2, wheel 3, and wheel 4. Once we have all 4 green lights, we would hit the center of the button here, and it would bring up our 4 wheels and tires. Now, the nice thing about the Corghi machines is we're not like everybody else where we just use weight and we put the highest weight in the back right and we put the least amount of weight in the driver front. We also take into consideration the run out of the tire that we did our diagnostic spin on, and we also take the tread pattern into consideration. There are 4 tread designs with tires, and it's very important when you're positioning them on the vehicle. We have our symmetrical, we have our directional, we have our asymmetrical, and we have our asymmetrical directional. Now, if you don't set this before you balance the tires, you can go back in there and say, oh, I forgot to set my tire design. When you do, there's a picture right here of a car that's telling you 4, 3, 1, 2. It'll rearrange those numbers automatically for you. You don't have to respin the machine, getting the best placement on the vehicle for the best ride possible.